I'd love to welcome these three people up. So we had a lot of awesome people come to Family Reunion. I have these three people who were willing and able to come be on a panel. So I'm going to ask them hard questions. You're right. Two of them were willing and able. One of them was forced and able. Well, I never asked Rollen. I never asked Rollen. He's up there.
He's like, you're on a panel. I was like, what's the panel about? Okay.
It doesn't matter.
You'll find out.
Thank you.
Your wish is my command.
So good.
What movie is that?
I don't remember.
Well,
Meet the Robinsons. Yes.
I love it.
Sorry, the echolalia is kicking in.
So good. All right. Let me pull up my notes as well. So, family reunion. Let's see. Who else in this room was able to go? We had
Jeff.
Yep, Jeff in the back. Okay, cool. So, this is going to be fun because, of course, this is a lot of new information. There was so much good information. So, I'm going to ask some questions. We're going to ask some questions about, okay, what goals? What did you learn? What were your favorite, what was your favorite speaker? A lot of those things, right? So, I kind of just want to start, though, with what was your favorite speaker and why?
For me, it was Donald Miller, who is the CEO of Story Brand.
Mhm.
And I think just my takeaway from him was sometimes we want to position ourselves as the hero, helping our clients, but he says to remember that we're the Yodas, we're the guides, we're the ones that are helping our clients who are actually the heroes. And in our marketing and in our approach to helping them, that's a great way to position ourselves so that we're not in conflict with them as they're the hero and we're trying to be the hero. They're the Luke Skywalkers, we're the Yodas, using that framework, and it was amazing. So anyways, it was eye-opening to how can we reposition our marketing and ourselves as being their guides and not their heroes. Let them be the hero of the transaction, and it's pretty powerful.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah.
What about you, Rollen? Who's your favorite?
Well, there's a tie. My favorites were Gary V, because I've been following him for a long time, and he's just awesome. He had super energetic, had a lot of cool things to say about, adopting technology, because technology is going to advance with or without us. And, we'll still be able to maintain a career without it, but the better we can adopt technology and go along with the changes, the better we'll be for it. But I think the most impactful was Jay Shetty. Yeah, just because it was really cool hearing him talk about, different techniques to stay positive and to have more clarity and mindfulness just about what it is that you're doing. And it was just really cool. So more mindset stuff.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
How are you, Jen?
Probably Gary V. I think for me, it's interesting to sit in a room of, how many people were there?
13, 14,000?
14,000. It's like
Oh,
this
stuff.
giant room. You can't even see. Although I did like when Jay Shetty shuffled us around.
That was fun.
That was fun. But I think sometimes in real estate, it's super easy to get that imposter syndrome. So when I listen to somebody like Gary V tell us all the things he's telling us, it's a good reminder to me that I'm not any different than him and neither are you. It's really, what am I willing to do and what was he willing to do? And he's not trying to get me to be him. He's just getting me to be a bigger me. And there's room for everybody in this room to be the biggest, most amazing us that there is. And there's room for all of it. And we don't need to duplicate each other and we don't need to knock each other down. And I know that even though that wasn't really what he was saying, but he's talking about social media, but he's also not telling me to be you on social media. He's telling me to be me on social media and in my life. And I like that. And I do appreciate a really big personality, which, he's the same on the stage as he is on the camera. He's who he is.
Yep.
And I frankly kind of liked, maybe I'm strange, I kind of liked that he doesn't care if that bristles some people. There were people that literally walked out with their ears closed because not all the words that he says are the words you want your daughter to hear. but also that's who he is. And so he came as who he was.
For sure. Yeah, I think I had my AI calculate how many times, and it was above 90 swear words.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
Light day for Gary.
that's funny.
yeah.
Yeah, the people behind us had a bet. They had an over-under on a certain number.
Yeah, it was way low.
Yeah.
Was it like 20 or something? And it was
It was
like,
like 27. I was
And
like,
it-
oh,
yeah,
yeah,
he
that was
was-
the first like 5 minutes.
oh yeah. Yeah, but it was good. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And it was fun because I just to build on that one, because it was interesting having Gary Keller interview Gary V at the very end of it. I think is a little bit also just to set the standard and stage, but he also went through and he basically told everyone that he tried to hire and have Gary V come to Family Reunion the year before, but then he gave them the rules that he couldn't swear. Remember that?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and he gave him the rules that he couldn't swear, so Gary V said F no and hung up the phone, and that was it. So they called him back up again, like they called him back up again for this year, and we're like, okay, like he's just so impactful in what he teaches that we have to be okay with who he is.
Well, and he
Which is
definitely did
fascinating.
say, he's like, I'm not trying to be like in your face. I was raised in this atmosphere and like this is just part of me. So he wasn't trying to be like some people do it. I don't know. There's like different energy behind it, right? So I almost didn't notice it from him because you could tell it was just like how he spoke. It's just like we say silly things in Utah, but people wouldn't leave the room with their ears plugged.
Just really interesting.
Just different.
Yep. Awesome. Okay, I want to jump to what was your one or two takeaways that you said you're going to implement in your business right away?
For me, it was I think the impact that AI is going to have 10 years from now, probably 5.
Yeah.
To be realistic. And I think if those search engines are going to be searching for content to provide answers to people, are we providing information that answers those questions to be relevant at that time? So I think, that starts now.
Mhm.
So that was a big aha for me.
So with that aha, what is your one takeaway that you're committing to do?
Providing in our marketing solutions to questions that people have. Like that's our approach is, all right, are we providing content that's answering questions that people have so that it will be recognized in AI and through other, machines. And so, yeah, that was our takeaway.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, and my takeaway was the same. How do we optimize our pages to show up on, AI searches in the future, but also to layer on creating a story brand from Donald Miller. How do we communicate that in a way that is what he calls low cognitive load? It's basically saying things in the most simple, plain language, because when a person has to think, that's when the objections come, So how do we layer our offers and our incentives and whatever it is we're trying to communicate in the easiest language possible? And then also AI tools. So I've been having fun playing with all the different AI and AI videos. So yeah.
You should see his last post.
That was funny.
That was
wasn't AI.
that was AI.
Yeah, that wasn't AI. So
I was recording that.
that wasn't AI.
So same thing. So just to piggyback on what they've already said, the thing that hit me the hardest is, for sure of the 3 of us up here, Bill has more experience, 100, like you have more experience. But if I can do AI better, you lose.
Yeah.
So that's dumb, right? So for us to sit back and think, oh, but look at my track record, look at all these things that I actually do, you will be left behind if you don't do the things that you need to do so that AI also recognizes you. It won't matter that hands down Bill is the choice because of what he knows. If you that just got a license last year out AI him, right? Which is crazy. That's crazy. But then also, Gary Keller pushed back a little bit on that. And he said, I also don't really think that it's all, the robots ultimately win. It really also comes down to the people in your sphere, the people in your life that know you, that's not going away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was glad he said that because I do think that AI is a component in the whole scheme of things. Like you know, it's not going to be. You still have to have relationships, and I would 100% agree that relationships aren't going away. People still trust people and want to do business with people they know and like, but it helps if the machine's working all together.
Yeah.
That's something Gary Vee said. He said, if you train an AI to replace you, then you will be replaced by AI. I think it was Gary Vee that said that, right? But and I think that with AI, yeah, the relationships won't be replaced, but maybe the speed and efficiency can, help with AI. And another thing is so many people, like Gary Vee asked, how many people go to ChatGPT to get their questions answered, over Google, and like the whole room raised their hand, So it's like customers, clients, whatever, they're coming in more informed because they have immediate access to all this different information. So they can have that information that fast. It's up to us to just be that much quicker to get them whatever they need.
Get them what they need
Mhm.
and be that relationship guide,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Kind of a concept. Cool. All right. Next question, and I'm going to give mine as well before I give it to you guys, is, and because I'm building off of what you guys just said, but what is your favorite or the stat that stood out to you the most during the vision speech? Right? Building off of what you guys just talked about relationships, the one for me that stood out was the amount that are still based. And if you look over the last 10 years, it's like 70 something percent of all deals really started from some form of sphere and relationship, right? It was either they knew the agent or it was a referral to the agent, were those top two, and how strong those were. But what was a stat that you realized in any of those aspects? It doesn't have to be vision speech because there's a lot of different stats that were out there that impacted the way you're thinking.
I don't know if I have and I hadn't really thought about it, but there was a chart that showed just appreciation and how we're really, and it may be a little bit more skewed here in Utah, but overall, appreciation is really on a trajectory that isn't off. It's historically where we should be. And I just thought that was interesting that, and then Robert was behind me and showed me the Utah stats, and we're a little bit higher, here locally than we are nationally. But I don't know if I have anything specific, but just that point stuck out to me that, where prices are higher, but that's not abnormal. That's normal.
That's normal. Okay, cool.
Mine was, I was sitting in a class there. Keller Williams is unrolling like a new training program, and the stat that keeps sticking out to me was 71% of realtors didn't close a single deal last year. And that was just like a big deal for Keller Williams at large. So now they're being more proactive to start not just training for information, but training to get the result, which I thought was kind of cool. So I'm excited to learn more and be better. So.
Wow. So mine's completely different. The stat that stuck out the most to me was, so I turned 53 today.
Woo!
No way. No way.
So Grant Cardone was 52 when his net worth, so not like cash in the bank, net worth was $2 million. Well, I happened to buy real estate at the right time in Southern Utah. So yay, I'm already there, right? Appreciation. Thank you so much. And now 15 years later, he was a billionaire. So it doesn't matter where you are, take 15 years. And if you just, like Keller Williams is literally follow the plan. Here's the playbook. Here's the thing. Do the thing. $2 million net worth to $1 billion. Like that kind of blows my mind. So be you and let it blow your mind. How about that?
Love it. Love it. Okay, so we went through who's your favorite. We went through, okay, what was your favorite quote? Did I do quote actually? No, I didn't. That was one of the ones I was going to do. We did what one was your one thing that you're taking away from it? And now what was your favorite stat? What was your favorite quote that you've repeated since you have left? Even if it's close.
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah,
Mine
I don't
wasn't-
really have one.
Mine wasn't a quote, but it was the story that Jay Shetty told about. It was a story from the Dalai Lama, I think it was, or the Buddha, whoever it was. I can't remember who it was. But real quick, I'll do as quick as I can. But it was about a guy that was on a journey, and he came across this river, and the river was just a crazy current, and he knew that if he jumped in this river, he'd be taken away. So he's like, I'm going to build a raft. So he builds up a raft, makes it all nice, builds an oar, and he gets in this river and paddles with all his might, eventually makes it to the other side. And he looks back at the river and the raft, and he's like, this raft saved my life. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for this raft. I'm going to take it with me. So he straps it to his back and he continues his journey, and he comes across a wooded area, like dense woods, and he's struggling to get through, and the raft's holding him back, you know? So he has to think, man, should I cut away this raft that saved my life? The only reason I'm here? Or should I cut it and walk freely, or should I struggle? So he decided to cut it, and he walked freely through the woods. And the moral was the skills, the mindset, and the tools that got you to where you're at today are not the skills, mindset, and tools that you might need to get to the next step. So I thought that was cool. So, yeah.
Awesome.
That was great. I must have been daydreaming. I don't remember that. That was a great story.
That was a good one.
Rollen just made that up, actually.
Yeah.
It was chaotic.
Very applicable. I forgot the question.
What was your favorite quote or story? I'm going to add story in. Quote or story that you heard that you either A, already repeated or you've now had in your mind.
Can't be Gary V's F-bomb.
Yeah. Yeah. I wanted to say that. I'm gonna go off
That's
here.
perfect.
One of the classes I went to was a guy named Brendan who I'm studying his system right now. It's called Listing Beast, and I think the takeaway from that was to be able to have a system that works for your clients versus you. And I love that because I want to figure out how can the value that we offer is not tied to Bill Fowler, but it's tied to a system that works, that people will come and they want what we have to offer, whether it's me or not. You know what I mean? Because I think I would love that transition. Like, how can I get my business to a point where it works without me? You know what I mean? And that's anyways, that's what I'm trying to figure out right now and studying and learning. What does that mean and what does that look like? So just a thought that intrigued me to, I don't want to do this forever, but how do I create something that works without me? So that's the idea there.
I love that. I'm going back to Grant Cardone. I just can't stop thinking $2 million of net worth to $1 billion in 15 years. And he started when he was not a spring chicken.
Yeah.
And really it ties on to what Rollen went in his little raft story, really. Because if you look at agents at certain stages in our career, we're all having similar struggles. So when you very first get licensed, you sit in a room and everybody kind of has a similar struggle. I'm gonna pick on Bill again. When you're at Bill's stage, similar struggles. So it's literally like, okay, I'm just in the spot now. What do I need to do differently? Because now I just need to move.
Perfect. Cool. Mine was from Jay Shetty, and he said, when you get wisdom, life doesn't get easier, it gets clearer.
Mhm.
And I thought that was fascinating because you think about, his whole aspect with times, right? This framework. So you have the T was thankfulness, making sure, hey, like it doesn't take long, but if you have, a minute or two where you're being thankful in the morning, then insight, you're having a minute or two of something with learning, as simple as even learning a new word or something, right? Then you have your mindfulness, having it so that, okay, what is, and having that time to actually, it reminded me of the 411 because I'm just so trained in Keller Williams, right? But what is that time that you have to know what is your one thing that you're wanting to do and accomplish that day? Then exercise, and he didn't even really dig in. He's just like, that's obvious if you don't know it nowadays. Like obvious, like starting your morning off with exercise. And the last one he said was the S was sleep. And are you getting your 7 to 9 hours of sleep, which is statistically. And he just was talking about how that right there, that micro habit will build you resilience. And he said resilience is the skill that changes everything. So pretty interesting. What was something that you weren't, oh, well, okay. What was something you were hoping to get out of going to family reunion? Like you went with an intention of, hey, I'm hoping to learn this, that you did get.
I think Canva is absolutely amazing. There's so much, and it's free to us. Like you can. I was blown away at what you can do with Canva, where you can, I mean, just what you can create in there and how you can share to different platforms, like just the automation, and they're continually trying to make it more dynamic for us. That was a huge takeaway for me that I need to get in and learn more and figure out. We kind of use it at a very basic level, but there's so much more that could be done. That was huge.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And the fact that Keller Williams provides it, like that's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't have anything specific. It was mainly just how do I streamline, like I want to get more involved with social media. So how do I streamline that process? So I just kind of went in as a blank slate and just learned as much as I could, and that's it. So I didn't have like a
Okay. Then with it being social media and streamlining it, what was a tip or two that you took away that you have already been implementing and enjoying?
Okay, so one, we learned about this AI program called Higgsfield because I want to make fun videos and stuff too, and that's super easy. And I get caught up like paralysis of analysis kind of thing, And the same guy that talked about this Higgsfield AI was also talking about like, here's a quick, easy formula that you can use to create videos, right? And it was super simple, to the point, and it looked really good. And I was just like, wow, I don't have to think so much about this stuff. Here it is. Just make it and keep going. So yeah, that was one thing.
Awesome.
So they always tell you to like pick a track and kind of stick with your focus. So my focus this year was I took all the wealth classes because, part of the thing that hit me, I know Joe's like, I told Joe,
I want to be wealthy.
I said,
You got $1 billion to make.
I do. I said, I want to be able to do what I want to do with the people I want to do it with and not worry about what it costs. Like, that's just, you boil it down. But also, it really, because I've been involved with government affairs for the last few years, and I keep going to different meetings there with affordable housing and whatnot, like it really hit me hard this last year, the statistics that has nothing to do with family reunion, but that we learned, this is why I try to hustle you for RPAC donations, is that the biggest determining factor of whether or not you retire with the equivalent of a used Toyota Corolla, $15,000, or almost $500,000 is if you own your home. Like that gives me goosebumps. My youngest kid is 22. So when they retire, the biggest determining factor of if they're going to be one incident away from homelessness or have some stability is owning a home. So a lot of what we do in this room is we help people not retire with one emergency away from homelessness. That's like a big responsibility, especially when we talk about affordability, and it's rough for a lot of people that they're working as hard as they can. And so the better I can understand wealth, the better I can help somebody else understand wealth so that they're not at the end of their life hoping that they have enough money in their account that they can withstand an illness or an accident or like that just hits me. So I just deep dived into how do I understand wealth better. So
I love it.
Yeah. And it's a system and it's a formula. It really is just a different way of thinking. Money is, you always hear money just is an extension of who you are. You can always think about like how we use it expresses, like apparently my pink water bottle an extension of who I am, but also it fits really nice in a carry-on and the thing folds down and you can take it on an airplane. It fits in my backpack. And anyway, it is an extension. Anyway, I digress.
Too bad.
But we learn a lot about ourselves, right?
Yep.
How we look at money, and money is something that we can easily start with wherever you are and you can build to where you want to be. You just need to learn how to think like the person that already figured it out. Think like them and you can get there.
Cool. Just out of curiosity, how many times have you been to family reunion? Three.
That was my second.
Second, and then second as well. Awesome. What was different about this time now that it's, because all of you now have been a couple times, it wasn't any of your first. What was different this time of the experience that you forgot, either different or you remembered that you, because it was like years ago that you went, right? That was an experience that you're like, oh, this is why I come.
I think it's just the breakout. I mean, there was just, Todd and I talked about this as we left, and more actionable. There's always stuff, but we just, for our team, it was like, wow, we actually walked away with some tangible, actionable items that we can put into place. That I don't know why it felt that way this year, but it did.
Cool.
So yeah, that was our takeaway.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know if it was much different than last time. I mean, I was overwhelmed last time. You know what I mean? Like first time, I was like, look at all the Keller Williams agents, whoa, all this kind of stuff, But I mean, there's so much information there, and you can learn whatever you want and take it away. I think for me, if family reunions in Vegas, hit Vegas for sure. You know what I mean? Because the travel was the thing that all I could think about as far as the difference. It was brutal. But other than that, family reunion was amazing.
Yeah, you also
Did you
had
get stuck at the airport?
I did. It was so bad. Oh yeah, it was so bad.
He's the only one, by the way.
Yeah, it was so bad.
He's the only one who got stuck.
Yeah.
No, he's not. Our flight got canceled Friday morning.
Did it?
We had to rebook
Mm.
to another airline just so we could get there for the CEO summit. So
Okay, traveling there.
yeah,
Yeah.
it
Rollen slept there, so.
Yeah, it puts a damper when you're like, my flight's gonna be brutal. You know what I mean? You're like,
Did you really sleep?
no, I didn't sleep
Oh.
there, but I stayed there until 2 a.m. and flew out. And the whole time there's alarms going off, like there's an emergency in the airport. Please wait for further instruction. I was like, what?
Sleep there.
I was like, I don't blame them with all the flights they're canceling. There's probably an emergency somewhere. Yeah.
That's awful. So. What are you did?
I forgot the question.
3 plus, I'm kidding. No, what was something that
difference?
was different this time for you than your last experience?
So the first time, I do have FOMO. So the first time I was like, okay, why are there 5 times more classes than I could possibly attend? This is rude. Because I want to go to all the classes. Don't make me pick the class. I want to go to all the classes. And so this time I was like, okay, fine. I can't go to all the classes. I guess I'll focus like they told me to do. So yeah, you can't do it all. Just do one thing, figure out the one thing, and then you can go to the next thing. And I do agree. I liked it better in Vegas.
The location wise?
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes Mega Camp different, because you're in the same room, but you're not missing out on anything because they're just bringing people out constantly. So it's
a fun different.
Yeah, it's a fun different. Yeah, totally. Yep.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, hey, thanks guys. I know I didn't want to, honestly, this information is fantastic. Family reunion was great. It was fun to chat with everyone afterwards. And I'm excited. Next year, I think, is in Houston, is what I've heard. So excited for us to. Oh, love that.
Go.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's an investment in your business and yourself. And I mean, it's definitely a cost, but I think you just do it. And it's just time to work on your business rather than in it. You know what I mean? That's my thought.
100%. You get a different perspective when you step outside of your business.
I'll just say ditto. They covered it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no way I wouldn't go.
Mhm.
Well, maybe a grandbaby.
grandbaby. That's a. Yeah, or your retina you know.
Yeah, Dave decided to red one, couldn't fly. Excuses.
There's reasons, but
Yeah, 100% worth it.
So add, because I've been several times and also the baby and stuff, the people who you meet in the break, like even having lunch with people you would never meet otherwise. Having dinner with those people, learning different strategies, learning their priorities, how they moved or what their struggles are. You can find somebody to even maybe, kind of mind meld with, where do we go from here? I think that after hours is also just so valuable.
That's a good point, because I got to know Jen a little bit more, and Karen and Jeff and Rob and Jesse. We all kind of sat, you know, the table was long at our dinner, but it was fun just because you don't get those opportunities like you're talking about, and we had fun.
it was fun.
Yeah, and Jeff loves a good Waffle House. Let's go. That's right.
Okay, wait, do you?
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's funny.
Or you know it's good.
Oh, yeah. And there was, and it was.
Hey,
That is
funny.
not where we ate as our dinner. I'll say that much. I love it. Well, awesome. Well, thank you guys
Cool.
not only for saying yes, but it's awesome to learn from what you learned. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you very
sweet.
much.